said, I mean, Aiden and Nick Merckx, we'll use as an example. It's been a spot, like a highlight moment every single game thus far. And Aiden, the 3 of the 4 games so far, there you see him on the screen right there. Both very, very kind to each other in that little interview. But I'm sure Aiden is thinking, yeah, right now I own Tilted Towers. Yeah. Nick, I dare you to come back here, and that kind of confidence, that's going to help him. Whether it's accuracy or positioning, he's got, well, seemingly he's got it all so far. The window peaks, everything he's doing. He even at one point he said, "This has got to be a PC player that I'm playing against." And lo and behold, no, it's Nick Merckx, another one of the best controller players we've ever seen. And whether he's losing to Aiden in these engagements or not, the fact that they're still they're fighting for that long, they're disengaging and re-engaging those choices, I think that establishes that win or lose in that 1v1, he's putting on a good show. Yep. He's very aware of what's going on. I mean, there's going to be an outplay from him soon, I guarantee it.
I think that kind of sums up Tilted perfectly, right? Like, there's so much already established building there that they're just navigating in and out of these corridors, using sound to their advantage, making sure they can kind of catch their opponents off guard, hide behind a wall, third-person perspective it. Either way, it shows just how much these guys land there. They've been the big talk of the town so far. Nick Merckx giving fist bumps to everyone around him. Definitely someone who likes to promote so much positivity in the community, which is great to see. The other big names here so far today, right now in that 4th spot we saw in the standings was actually Liquid Poach. He's the highest in the standings right now who don't have a Victory Royale. Who doesn't have a Victory Royale? So the 3 above him all have actually won a game. Landjock, who is our other player who's won, is lower on the standings. But Poach showing just how quality of a player he is, Lupo, to be that high up without having a victory yet.
Now, I'm looking forward to see players that dropped like 10+ eliminations in a single game. Animal Tylers, I want to see them show up and play that aggressive gameplay that they've played in the past. There's a chance that maybe right now we've been through 4 games, and maybe before this they were playing a little timid in comparison to what they had done during the qualifiers. It could be the pressure. All these people watching and the number of players that are around them that are extremely competitive. Speaking of competitive players around them, the drop is coming soon, Courage. Are you ready for Game 5?
We go. Quick little break, a little reset. We've added another game. We've seen all sorts of stuff. Game 5 is here. The bus has taken off. Remember, each Victory Royale, $25,000 in the bank in prize money. Let's get into the action.
Southwest to the far east, going to fly past Lonely Lodge there. You'll see a couple of the Liquid players, pretty well known for going Wailing Woods. They'll wait till a late drop. You've got in your bottom right there Nate Hill from FaZe flying in. He's looking towards Fatal Fields. But pretty much everybody, like we've seen, consistent spread. Not a whole lot of engagements. Like not a whole lot. There's no more than like 5 or 6 players in a single location. Even less than that, typically. Retail has a handful there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like at Tilted. 2 players laying on the south side there. This is back over the Fatal Field to see. Running around. Nate's going to try and get this. This is an outside of Fatal drop. Full shield, a good pickup early. He's got an AR, some bandages. Nothing, I was literally about to say, nothing up close. Picks up an SMG. A decent kit early. You'd want to look for a shotgun. But I'd like to point out, Jack, that the anti-grav shield, the bubble is there visually, but just so everybody's aware, the effect itself has been disabled, like we said. So don't worry about the fact that you can see the bubble. Again, it's not engaged right now.
Now I just want to go home and fly around the map.
I do. turn that into a thing.
Either way, here's Ranger, who's got a tactical shotgun and a rocket launcher. Interesting loadout off the break. I think he realizes that as well. When you have the rockets, it's so key to get that high ground established right away. Rockets so much more lethal when you can obviously shoot down onto your opponent with them. This is Saint, who continually lands near this Greasy Grove area from my experience in previous summer skirmishes. No, he's been clingered. Remember, clingers do flat 100 damage, so thankfully the shields will save him, but he's got to try to disengage, and he only has 2 builds. This looks like it's going to be a disaster for him.
Looks like he got potentially a little distracted by looking for Nice down underneath, and Bowman took it. Yeah, it was Bowman from the backside coming from the south, chucked that clinger. Well, Bowman now focuses on Nice inside the building.
And another!
Player 4 is into the match. Bowman very low here. He's tossing the remote explosives. Maybe take an opportunity to pop that med kit. You're not going to have another time to do it. Gets the mini, a faster use, so the mini is going to take priority. He wants to get any buffer he can. Tyler's in the feed, by the way, getting an elimination in there, but Bowman gets that mini use off. Crashy, the player pushing up here.
Oh, Nice with the eliminate of Bowman. Crashy's got to follow this up quick because look, I mean, look at the health he has right now. 200 HP. That was his last build. He's got a great swap combination between that heavy shotgun and the drum gun, which still has a full clip, and there's all sorts of loot down low.
Saint dropped the rocket inside through the building, explodes.
Oh.
Nice. So now this is from the outside. So Crashy may not realize if that was Saint from up top on the hill. The player inside, he knows is gone now, but he's got to try and figure out where it came from. Saint sliding down for a little bit of fall damage there. This is Aiden back in Tilted Towers. Look at his first elimination. Catches Kairos off guard, both dropping on top of the big red apartment building. Comes away with a purple AR too, which is a really good pickup, but it doesn't even matter. Look, he already has a gold AR. He's going to push inside with his chest, and the hope for shield, and I think he just pulled one right there before it got away.
Interesting. This is probably the first game where Nick has actually reached max shield before Aiden. I think Aiden will catch up though here soon.
Ecstatic, the typical third party in Tilted. Here's your leaderboard for right now. Aiden with an elimination there. We get this sorted by elimination count. Morgos, though, you see the score. This is your leaderboard sorted by score. On the far right side, Morgos was at 8. Blind in second place is 6. Nate Hill, Aiden, Bizzle, and Saf rounding out that top 6.
Already 500 material. Such a good
med. 3 remote explosives. He's got a swap weapon and upgrades his shotgun.
And just for everyone at home, when we say swap weapon, we're talking about the submachine gun. So you can take the pump shotgun shot, and then because there's that delay before you can fire the second shot, instead you swap to a spray weapon, whether it's an SMG, a drum gun. Some people even just use an assault rifle.
That's all you have. You know, you got to take the opportunity. The reason being, during that like cooldown period after you took a shot, you see it. Swaps
off, and now he's tag right there.
The FPS knowing exactly how to utilize that timing, basically the right amount of AR spray, and then swap back to the shotgun to try and go for another shot. Shotguns hit so hard up close. In these up close fights, every single point of damage matters. If he's accurate, he's in the right amount. He's the right range away before damage drop off takes over. The timing on that can be key. It could be the difference between a one shot and maybe your opponent spraying you down while you're trying to get the shotgun shot off.
The FPS is, instead of building himself, he's just going to reset to the high ground. And he's dodging these clingers, so it looks like he's kind of read his opponent perfectly. It's Alpha Amons just inside the build and brick. And look, he's shaking his head. You can see in that camera, frustrated with the position he's in right now. Not a lot of health, very exposed, and the FPS is maxed on HP. And he's going to match the build right now. I think the end might be near for Alpha here soon.
Alpha pushing up, gets the top down on, trying to get the jump shotgun shot. FPS kind of layering away. He's got multiple layers there, basically right at the perfect spot to lay a floor, back up a step, lay another floor. So there's multiple wood platforms being Alpha Amons deciding to go for it. He's trying to get the top down. He's got to hit big shots here. It's 100 HP, 100 shield on his opponent below him.
It's almost to a point where like Alpha has to hit like a snipe headshot or something. A ridiculous scenario he finds himself in. The FPS just rotating all around, bouncing. Looking for that perfect... It's also a thing where if you're the FPS, if you're wondering why he's kind of playing this slow, yes, he doesn't have the high ground, but he almost doesn't want to take any damage either. Right? He knows he's got a heavy advantage, but he's looking to just get that perfect opportunity. Now might be his chance. It might just be time to spray this player down, shoot that top left structure, and it might all fall.
He's got it looks like there's 2 connected points. If he goes for it, which is exactly what he's going to do, he's got that the arch, the half arch is all that's holding it up, and here it comes. Alpha's got to drop down and save himself with a build. Lands on top of the building, just barely got down fast enough to not take any fall damage, but he's still basically one shot at this point. One pump shot is going to be all it takes. Bush catches him in the corner, and there it is. First elimination for the FPS. An excellent set of plays there. Choosing just the right time to push.
Here's another side of the map. Ripmate, not much useful weaponry in his inventory. What?
An 82.
I take back everything I've ever said.
He catches Landjock, our first winner off guard there, Takata. Right here in shifty shafts, jumping around trying to get the top down on his opponent, drops in and a big hit, 2 HP left for Crashing. He does have a med kit and minis, so he's still, you know, give him 20 seconds, he's back to 150.
No, Fade went to drop the Portafort and it actually spawned above him, so he wasn't safe. It's so key when using those Portaforts, especially on uneven ground, that you jump as you activate it, so you land above the layer of the Portafort. Here's Aiden only at 100 HP. Seems like he's been tagged up quite a little bit. Who's nearby? Nibs is nearby. Marksman's nearby. Ecstatic is here. No idea if Nick Merckx is still in this game or not. We'll have to get you guys an update on that.
It looked like he might have still been inside the big gray tower that he tends to. If it's anybody in there, it's going to be Nick. But once we can see that, we'll let you know. But this might be the busiest tilted we've seen in quite a while. And this is the first time I think we've seen Aiden decided to back out. Maybe too many people. His loadout, though, no shield, not a whole lot of materials, but a gold AR, a gold heavy shotgun.
Yep.
Keep train here. Wonder if he's going to try and hit a big deagle shot on this. The purple hand cannon. Top boy dropping down. Looks like he got an elimination on blue T in the feed there.
He's got a revolver, as you know, from the most recent developer update. That'll soon be vaulted here in Fortnite. So, a little homage to our soon-to-be lost friend. This Kriz is just going to run away from that fight. What is this end? What is this zone? What is this zone? Literally half of it is out of play. And that's a mountain right there, too, Lupo. That's one of the tallest mountains in the game, right above Flush Factory.
You see somebody hanging out way north, way outside the zone.
Nick is still alive.
Nick is still alive.
0 limbs yet, just playing very passively. Nibs is running out. Everyone's fanning on out of here. Nick's Towers.
Make the MFM proud, Nick. He's got to try and he just kind of needs to buy his time. He's got 55 seconds. He doesn't necessarily have to rotate just yet, and he knows. Look, Ecstatic doing it literally what we saw him do last match for just a second there. We cut to him, and he wasn't even moving, just standing still, trying to listen, wait for these players to kind of engage each other. He doesn't want to get involved in any of this. Leaderboard being high on his list of things to go after, so I don't blame him in the slightest. Nick deciding he heard some shots. Might be time. Going to drop some grenades in there, hoping for a single or a double. Ecstatic goes down. We still have 2 players in there. X's looks like he eliminated Ecstatic. Grenades don't catch any damage. Looking for maybe even just a damage number. Even if you're not on top of it, you'll see the number pop up when you get a hit with it.
He's going to have to make a decision soon. I was about to say he's either got to move or he's got to push this, and I think he's going to do the latter. Here he goes. Nick Merckx now moving on in. Here's a ton of shots going down, expecting players to be weak. He wants to play this high ground. Sees one inside. Can't get a tag on the player. One off to his right at double L's as well. Nick obviously doesn't know exactly where Exis is with that little HP. There's a 3rd player as well down here too. I think this is Envy Gorilla, I believe at least.
It's a shotgun shot off on him. Looks like it was still shield damage. He's going to know that his opponent still has some sort of defense there.
He has the weaponry for this. Between the drum gun, the blue pump shotgun, the rare pump shotgun, but he's going to go ahead and fall back for now.
He just ran out of explode ammo too, so he's got nothing left in that grenade launcher. Maybe 3 or 4 more explode ammo. He could have just kept dropping them in there, kind of expose.
And I can tell you, Nick isn't happy to be leaving Tilted at 0 limbs. This is the first game where him and Aiden, I think, both leave Tilted without a single elimination. Jamonka
phase out here, trying to rotate. Looks like southeast. He's going up the ramp. This ramp already built, so he didn't have to waste a whole lot of materials. It's a good option to, especially in competitive games like this. You don't want to burn through a ton of resources. You're gonna in the future, if you plan on going for late game, you're gonna get caught up close next to somebody and have to most likely take advantage of turbo build. Try and keep a layered defense between you and your opponent. You need all the materials you can get. Look at Cease here. 650 wood, 770 brick, 140 metal. He's sitting on a ton of materials.
And he's actually in a little build engagement with Morgoth, who, if you remember, is our 1st place player up to this point. Quick update on the actual eliminations this game. Animal, who's one of the 2 players this week with a 10+ elim game for the victory, actually has 4 elims so far, and still a ton of players left.
A handful of players still alive, too. We have Top Boy, Gorilla, Morgas, Rio, Struggs, Tokata, and Tylers, who are all sitting at 2 eliminations apiece, which means one more for each one of them is a point for this game. And every single point counts. It could be the difference between you know, the 21st through 100 placement prize of 5,000. You got to remember, everybody comes away with 5,000 if they made it to the grand finals, which is huge. But a single point could push you up in the top 20, and that could be massive. A lasering Takata establishes his...
Animal, who actually got that elim. That's now 5 for him. 2-point game for Animal.
Nibs Saf gets the FPS and the feed there.
Oh, it's Nick Merckx out of the zone.
Literally immediately clapping here at PAX for Nick. Mars City's eliminated by the storm there in the feed, you see. It's kind of a stalemate here at the edge of the circle. Movement's going to happen before too long, and both of these players are established in their little box. They have a minute 20. You have plenty of time to make a decision. Nick could drop his campfire too. This is Tyler's and Triz back in the bottom floor, tilted, hanging outside the zone, trying to just peek for that quick shot, and he gets Triz through the top window of that door.
He was so far into the zone still. Over to Rio now, spraying that LMG, swapping the Scar, and whoa, gets the one bullet to connect. That's all he needed. Knew he was weak.
That's 3 eliminations for Rio, which gives him a point for this game.
And Asteria is still in this. And I can tell you, Asteria landing greasy. Has been very happy to see the zone since we swapped off. Nicky got tagged, and look at Emad back-to-back limbs, but then Aiden actually cuts him down. So Aiden and Nick each now with a limb on the board.
Aiden actually has 2 right now. He's 1 away from picking up another point for the day. That'd be Aiden's 4th point. Rex is hanging out in his own. There's a little box over there. The clingers. See the clingers flying over the top of Nick.
No help from his AR right there, not getting any connects. Gosh, I can tell you right now, Nick wishes he had some splodes left from his time in Tilted to be able to use. And that's a brilliant wall. That wall's going to block out the sight line of the player in that build just next to him, so you can put some pop shots down on this player who's trying to run away from the zone. Nick will have to move forward, and that's when this is going to get absolutely awkward for him. Expect the player up top to probably prioritize Nick here.
Got a couple of trees as natural cover, some structure that was built by somebody else, but I think he just saw it. Looks like there was like a window peak to a southwest 240 up there. Somebody might have edited a hole out and try and take shots at him as he's rotating, and he covered himself.
This zone is absurd.
It is. This is it. What would you say? Like 40% of it is over the water right now. This is Aiden's 2nd elimination. Right on the coast right here, Caps is a player. It's Emad. We watched that just a second ago. We commented on Emad establishing a double there on
so that was Emad who got a double, but then he eliminated Emad, meaning 3 players worth of loot was there. So now he's added a ton of materials, shields, and a legendary compact SMG to his inventory.
I don't think Aiden picks it up unless it's legendary at this point.
Apparently.
That kid is insane.
It's like everything that gets dropped in front of him upgrades out of the person's inventory.
Multiple players underneath and making quite a bit of noise.
Just eliminated his teammate Brandon.
Tempo going for a fast out of the side window there.
Aiden with another elimination. I believe that will put him at 3, right? Making him another game with another point. He's been so consistent with that so far today.
Kayun just got elimination in the feed, but Top Boy takes him out. We have players countering players, and this is all very much on the coast. Imagine somebody sliding down to try and be on the outside edge. We'll see, depending on this next circle. There's going to be time to move relatively soon. We got 5 seconds before this finishes. Flush Factory still has a ton. The top of the hill, like you said, one of the tallest hills in the game. There's going to be a lot of players at the top down, and here we go. Flush Factory has to move out. North side has to move out. All these players are looking at right now. It's time to move.
Here are those clingers. Way earlier on. That was Crunch who got the pitch on the sat. But this next zone, half of it is on one of the tallest mountains in the game. The other is on one of the lowest valleys. So high ground going to be everything here. Here comes a nice little build engagement. Cease dropping down the remote explosive, but gets shot in the back. He tunnel visions on replays and pays the ultimate price.
C4 is still sitting up top, so you got to be careful that nobody else maybe notices that and shoots it if you're moving over the top of it. But Aiden here, very top corner, top of the map, edge of the map. He's looking for an edit down on his opponent.
He knows that this player has the double barrel. It's got a unique sound effect, which is so key to listen out for. Bolt Naga also has the Rift to Go in his inventory. Maybe in a panic position. He could use that to actually, he might use that here to get the high ground on the top part of the mountain.
We'll put him basically all the way up
there. They have to move
there.
in 30 seconds.